Hello and good evening. My name is Sosi Avakian Mardirosyan. I was born in Beirut, Lebanon, to a very gifted Armenian parents and a family. Growing up as a child, I had my ears and my soul filled with the most beautiful tenor voice of my father playing the oud and singing beautifully our cultural songs, as well as my mother with coloratura soprano, singing in choirs and the oldest cultural Armenian songs that I've learned from her. My aunt, coloratura soprano, my grandma, coloratura soprano, musically inclined and talented and educated. I grew up especially with our composers, Gomidas, songs and music in my ears and in my blood, I should say, feeling every beautiful song of his compositions. After a few years, I had emigrated to Toronto, Canada, and growing up, I had chosen the career in nephrology, nursing specialty, with the dialysis modalities for the renal failure patient population. I had, along the years, with my experiences, developed a very outstanding methodology in the dialysis, in the home hemodialysis, which excelled in the outcomes of the patients to the point where it even excelled transplanted patients population. Along the years, I have realized that I was also gifted with this beautiful talent, with the voice capacity from my father and my mother, giving me a very unique spinto coloratura soprano range, encompassing almost all of the soprano octaves and enabling me to sing from folklore, pop, classics, Broadway, and operas. Performing on stages many years, singing as a soloist in choirs and multiple cultural choirs. I have performed on stages in Canada, in Montreal, and even overseas in Yerevan in the Opera House. I have also performed along with different cultural performers and singers, renowned singers such as Shirley Caesar, Mary Critchlow, who were known as the gospel singers, and they invited me many times to perform on their stages, to the point they even announced and titled me as gospel opera singer. Being in very successful modalities of the dialysis for the home hemodialysis and the nocturnal dialysis outcomes, I was urged to follow and come to California in 2005 and establish the home hemodialysis program in the home and in-center nocturnal dialysis for the renal failure population here in the Southern California. And along my career in medicine and nephrology, I was also able to enjoy my gift and talent in my singing and performing on many stages here in California and with my audiences, as they were always referring to the songs that I presented in our cultural songs, saying, sometimes we don't understand some of the songs that you sing, but you take us to the realm of that composer. We feel what you're singing. And as I was striving to record the operas, having met a beautiful golden diva and a true vocalist and pedagogist, Anna Nishanyan, our golden diva, she had assisted in coaching me to perform the operas the way I had wished to do so many, many years of my life, being my heart's compassion to achieve and accomplish these songs and arias. As I was performing with my audiences in Hollywood, a lot of the episodes where they reflected on the songs that they couldn't understand made me to gear into poetically translate some of our beautiful cultural Armenian music of Gomidas, of Ganachian, of Sayat Nova, and the likes of all the songs that I performed more frequently for them. I was able to translate them correctly and poetically into the English version of the songs and record them bilingually. And having been multilingual, multifaceted, I was able to basically sing and introduce to a lot of the styles of the singing in my vocal capacity. The album that was made out of the intention of showing the range of my voice and my ability to sing different languages and different styles and genres of songs, I was able to create this album, Triumph, and it encompasses 2 CDs, one international pop to opera, and the other one our composers, Gomidas, and our Sayat Nova and Ganachian, all of the songs in the Armenian, and a DVD introducing the human atrocities of the world with our genocide, which was the original genocide of all mankind. I had composed along the way of these recordings Triumph as freedom of mankind around the world, which also noted our human atrocities and what we should not be tortured in this life. The album basically unexpectedly for me was introduced and released by Mary Shuttleworth. She is the founder and the president of Youth for Human Rights. And when she presented the album, Obama's White House entertainment producer and director was there, Nicole Wood, who was very enticed with the production of the recording and had urged me to send a copy to President Obama and Michelle Obama, First Lady at the time, which I had done. And I did receive a congratulation letter from both President Obama and Michelle Obama, congratulating and also being thankful for receiving such a beautiful recording. All of my recordings, for some reason, had been used for meditation And a lot of my patients who were very angry to even see me proceed and continue in the medical field used to respond and say that with the gift that God has given me, that I should be more into my singing as a career than the medical aspect. And even though most of them had recognized the fact that not only I heal them there physically, making them with a quality of life and helping them to live their life as best as they should be, they also recognized that I was able to heal their soul with my voice and God-given talent of my singing. Along the time when I had the album release, I had for many years known the maestro, tango maestro, Sergei Tumas, Seyran Tumasian, who, enticed from the multicultural aspect of the singing, had composed a scenario of tango the musical as a Broadway, and approached me with the idea of to study Piazzolla, Astor Piazzolla, as a composer and musician, and be able to sing his songs and interpret his songs the way I interpreted our cultural musical songs. Since 2017, I was able to follow and study Astor Piazzolla's great compositions of music and songs for tango and classic tango. I actually realized that Astor Piazzolla had the same approach, just like our Gomidas had done. There was a strong parallelism between Astor Piazzolla and Gomidas, where Gomidas had brought the cultural and the rural songs and music into the classics. The same Astor Piazzolla that had brought and revolutionized the street tango, the routine known tango, the traditional tango, into the classics and the operas and operetta, I should say, he had composed. And he presented symphonies with the music of tango, which are the most amazing compositions I had been exposed to, and utilizing his genre, his style of the tango, I was able to interpret and sing his songs just as I felt and I sing Gomidas. Astor Piazzolla, a great musician, was born in March of 1921 to Italian parents at Mar del Plata in Argentina. And from 1985, he started revolutionizing his compositions of these, routine and traditional tango, bringing them up into the standards of classics and operetta. He had created some amazing songs and music for the tango. In 2021, he was renowned as the legendary king of the tango, the Argentinian composer, and all of the world had been recognizing his wonderful and miraculous work of music. With the tango, the musical, as a Broadway, it's a tribute to Astor Piazzolla's classics and the music and the song. And we were able to stage it with his legendary composers and legendary musicians, such as Christian Sarate, Maestro Binelli, and many more of the performers in the orchestration. We were able to perform and present Tango the Musical as a Broadway in Buenos Aires this year in May 28. And it was the most successful and the most standing ovation of a performance that we had. We are happy and intrigued to introduce the Tango Musical here in the most beautiful city of Beverly Hills at the Saban Theater. It will be presented and performed with 2 acts. The first act being a streaming of the show and the musical Broadway as we had presented and staged and filmed in Buenos Aires in Teatro Coliseo. And the second act will be live performance of myself and many, many legendary artists that had performed with Astor Piazzolla, Martin de Leon being one of them. And there'll be some surprises, and we will have a very, very beautiful entertainment evening. The doors will be open on December 18th at 6 o'clock at Saban Theater in Beverly Hills, presenting the greet and meet the artists, getting to mingle among the audience, and introducing albums and productions, and having free tango lessons for couples or individuals that will be interested to have that session given. And at 7:30, the show will go on. We are looking forward to have most of you present, enjoying the most astounding and unparalleled show of a tango musical that is for the first time in the world as a Broadway presented with the compositions of Astor Piazzolla, with his revolutionized tango. The theme of the musical is a tragic love story during the era of the civilian revolution in Argentina, and depicting the atrocities of human beings that were taking place. A lot of population, people have been massacred, and there were some even culturally relating to Armenian people who live in Argentina and Buenos Aires. I have joined the atrocities of the world of human being to the genocide of our Armenian genocide and a massacre in 1915. And the show is basically introducing these atrocities as a monument for remembering our loved ones in the past. I look forward and really encourage everyone to be there with my performance, with Martin de Leon's being there, and some very amazing performers, tango dancers, to be there live in the second act of the show. And the first show act will be the streaming of the musical itself and the Broadway as it was presented with the legendary performers and dancers of Astor Piazzolla in Buenos Aires. I wish you a healthy weeks to come and a healthy life and a safe life in the meantime. And I do hope to see you very soon, again on December 18th, 2022 at 7:30. The doors will open at 6 o'clock at the Saban Theater in Beverly Hills, Los Angeles. The show that was supposedly scheduled October 29 of this weekend will be moved to the December 18th, 2022 weekend. So have a great evening, stay healthy, and good night.